final variable that we need to go ahead and add in order to get the full aggregate expenditures model, we take a look at the foreign sector. And this is going to be added through our net export. So exports minus imports, X minus M. And thankfully for our purposes that we built up within this particular section, net exports are going to have the same exact impact as we saw with government spending and investment. So it is going to be affected by the multiplier. So just starting us off once again, all the way from the beginning. Before we just had consumption where, hey, savings is equal to 0. Our income was equal to $4,000. We were consuming everything that we had in income. Then we added in $100 of investment. When we added $100 of investment, we noticed that, hey, our income increases to $4,400 because we had a multiplier equal to 4. So $100 increase in spending, income increases by $400. Then we added in government spending, an additional $100. It is affected by the multiplier. So here, $100 times 4, we now have $4,800 in aggregate income. And then finally here, we're going to go ahead and add in our net exports. If exports are ever bigger than imports, in this instance, they are by $100. When we add this into our model, it is affected by the multiplier. So here we go from $4,800 to $5,200, 100 times 4, $400 in additional aggregate and equilibrium income. So we go from point E to B to C as we add in these additional variables into our aggregate expenditures model. So here, I, G, X minus M, our net exports, they all have the same exact impact in terms of being affected by the multiplier, and we can see exactly what happens with our equilibrium income. So with all of this, this just tells us what the full aggregate expenditures model looks like graphically, and we know a little bit more about the mathematics behind it all. So what happens when taxes change? We know it's not going to get the full impact of the multiplier. And then we also take a look at what conditions need to be met in order for us to be in any type of equilibrium at all. With this in mind, we can take a look at our final two concepts within this entire chapter with the recessionary gap and the inflationary gap, which will tell us exactly how much spending increases or decreases do we need within the economy in order to bring the economy back to its full employment output or its long-run equilibrium. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those two in our last video for this particular chapter. So this one's a fairly short video for us, but that's not really a worry. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the chapter in the next lecture.